Good morning and welcome to this episode of the Car Care Adventures. You find us on the M6 on a bright and shiny September morning. We've just passed Cannock and Stafford or somewhere like that. We've got the sunrise happening to our east. And we are off to, where are we going?
We're going to Bury.
Bury or Bury?
Bury.
Manchester.
Yeah.
And the idea is we got called by Rachel over at Modern Classics magazine, which is like a classics for a magazine rather for cars from the 80s, 90s, and noughties.
The older generation.
I quite enjoy it.
Exactly. The older generation.
Cool cars. Cars will be worth a lot of money in due course, but at the moment might just be a little rusty. Don't say it. And we basically, they contacted us and said there's a competition that we want to do and we want the top prize to be a detailing prize. And I thought, aha. And then in August we found the winner, and the winner happens to be in Bury and has a Mercedes E500, which is a cool car.
Is it?
It is.
I don't really take what cool cars are off you, considering what we're sitting in.
We're sitting in the coolest of cars.
No.
More about that in a little while. But anyway, so we're going up to Bury, and basically the winner, he's very into his car care already, so we've been told that the car is more or less perfect already, and now we always take that with a little pinch of salt.
But it makes our job a lot easier if it is.
If it is. And so what'll be interesting about today is it might be adding those sort of final couple of percent required to make a really good car great.
Which are normally the hardest parts, because it's the bits that people don't think about and they don't even know about generally.
No, absolutely. And it's a matter of a detailer, and this is perhaps where detailing gets really, really fun. It's not just, machine polishing paintwork endlessly. It's doing things like the little door hinges, the engine bays, the making sure the bolts on the engine are the correct way, and stuff like that.
Toothbrushes out and fine little tooth combs.
Oh yeah. And it's the cotton buds. I love cotton buds. And you can use sort of sponge on a stick and stuff on the air vents and bits and bobs. So anyway, we found out the winner was in Bury, so we tapped into the PVD database, and the nearest member is Terry Rule, who is Noble Detailing. And Terry's a great guy. Known Terry for a couple of years, but never actually met him, so it's really nice to actually also be able to meet him. And we've got the whole day. It's now, 6:30 in the morning, so it still feels very, very early. As I say, we're based down in Cirencester, apart from him who's based like in somewhere.
Yeah, and I had to drive down to Cirencester for then to drive up to Manchester.
Which you did yesterday, in fairness.
Yes, but
still. We had all day in the edit yesterday doing the Eurotour special, which you will probably have already seen if you're watching this. And anyway, so we're going up and we've got the whole day there, and I'm really rather looking forward to it. See? And as you can guess by the smooth ride and no shake whatsoever, the A, camera stabilisation is working, and B, we are in Boris, our second project car. And Boris has been on some adventures recently. We've taken him to Europe on a little sort of a pleasure trip, if you like. And we
didn't find it very pleasurable at all.
I did.
He didn't. Boris did not.
Boris loved it. We did Subaru spotting game, and we found that there are 52, over 3,500 miles, we saw 52 other Subarus. It was great.
They were all on the side of the road, but...
Yeah, No, they weren't. Anyway, that's by the by. They're all working perfectly. Speaking of working perfectly, Boris, we did something called the Otzel Pass, which is in Germany or Austria or somewhere, down there. And it goes up to 9,250 feet, which, just to put that in perspective, if you add another 750 feet, you have to have oxygen if you're in an aeroplane. That's how high it was. It was properly high.
Was that how high the temperature gauge went as well?
No. The temperature gauge normally sits just sort of below middle, because the head gasket's still just about okay after 295,545 miles. So yeah, we went up to the Oxford Pass. It was quite stressy. On the straight and level, foot to the floor, we could do only 30 miles an hour because the air was so thin, despite this being powered by a raucous 3-litre flat 6 powerhouse, pretty similar to what you get in a Porsche GT3 RS.
And it's also got not that many cylinders that want to work, because the compression is nowhere near. I think if you had three cylinders together, you've got the compression of one normal cylinder.
Not true. We have 165 psi compression on some of the cylinders, which is down from 185 factory.
And the best one?
The best one's 165.
Yeah. How about the other one?
the other one, there are 6, but cylinder 6 itself has nominated selflessly to reduce the pressure on the piston by having a compression ratio down to, well, a compression of 135 psi. So that is quite low. So anyway, Boris is tanking along. We've also got brand new suspension courtesy of Peders, because
due to the other one near enough fell off. How did it look when you come back from your Euro trip?
Saggy.
I think it was leaning very far backwards.
It was like a kind of a matchbox car. It's got self-leveling rear suspension, as all good cars do, and the self-leveling component had sort of given up the ghost a little bit after, you know, a lot of time and miles and all the rest of it. So it was probably legitimate, and being tight, I didn't want to replace it with a new self-leveling damper, so we got the Peders kit, which has done grand. It's absolutely great. We have a couple of other little issues.
Like we have a knock, and the tyres are too big, so now it rubs. But it doesn't rub the arch, that'd be too easy. It rubs the actual body, and it's taking all the wax oil and sealant off the body and leaving lovely shiny marks, and it slows you down really fast when you want to corner.
Think of it like machine polishing, but instead of a machine, you're using a Yokohama Geo5 all-terrain Super Butch Ray Mears style tyre. Which does make the handling a little bit interesting, particularly with, what do you call them, corners and heavy braking. It does lock the front wheels up, which is exciting, I would say.
Death-defying is another word.
Yeah, well, you know, live on the edge. We're young and wild and exciting.
One of us is anyway, but you know.
Yes, yeah, exactly, but don't worry, I'll teach you how to do it. So, yeah, the car is just about coping. We do need to get Boris back into the garage and do some bits and bobs, but he's grand. So anyway, in summary, M6, Dawn, going north to Bury, to go and tickle a Mercedes for a competition winner, and hopefully, I think it'll be a really fun day.
Hopefully. We shall see.
And so, yeah, challenge is to get there, get it done, get back, all in one piece. Also, my RAC membership's expired. I thought I'd have to tell you on camera because you wouldn't murder me on camera, but technically we're not covered. But I do.
Yeah, we're see you next year.
I have spanners in the back. We'll be fine. I mean, how hard can it be? We've got spanners, hammers, it's all good.